We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully, your day is going well. By the time you hear this, it'll be Saturday. We were recording this on Friday, and I've been looking forward to this one, especially after what was going on all day Friday. I have with me Will, Mr. Passion, when it comes to all things that are Trumplafucks and MAGA. So I'm glad to have him on the show today. Um, every day when I talk to somebody or I talk to you especially, I
Mhm.
think about all the things we could talk about. And as I sit here today looking at you, and I'm going, holy fuck. I've never, as much as there's been crazy shit with Donald Trump and all this shit, I was literally taken aback today.
Yeah, yeah, that one, yeah. Yeah, that one. It's funny because up to a week ago, everyone was in panic mode with the Democrats, with them caving in. Is anyone hearing that anymore? Um, Chuck Schumer got lucky. He really did with
That
this.
was my point. Everybody did the same thing when those four guys caved and they signed the thing off and they go, "Oh my
Right,
God, people will hate the Democrats forever. This will be there till the 26th." I go, "Give it a week. There'll be some other fucking crazy shit coming out." And as luck would have it, it does. Uh, we got plenty of things to talk about, but the first thing I
right,
want to talk about is the one that's on everybody's mind. I was watching on TikTok and I kept seeing people saying, well, in the emails, it says something about Donald Trump performing a sex act on Bubba, who we all know is Bill Clinton, and that Putin may have pictures of it. Now, when I first heard that, I thought people were reading into things or they were just making the shit up. I thought that's fucking crazy. That's not true. And then I kept watching, and then I looked at the emails, and holy fuck, that's exactly what it says. It says Jeffrey Epstein telling his brother that he wonders if Putin has a picture of Donald Trump giving Bubba a blowjob, Bubba being Bill Clinton. I'm going, wow. And people say, I still say that's crazy. But here's what we have to understand it's in the email, in print, said by his best buddy, Jeffrey Epstein. And let's be honest. How many things over the last 10 years have been crazy, unbelievable, unimaginable have happened with Donald Trump? So, who the fuck knows?
it's like can't, I can't. I mean, it came from in your video because it came from. Everyone knows who Stella is. If you don't know
Yeah,
who
Stella
Stella is, go
Mags.
find her.
She's the
Okay,
best.
she's the best. She's from New York. She's got the New York attitude, but she's smart as a whip, and she has a great take on stuff. A hilarious take.
And she's very professional the way she does it. She's not so slick that she's too slick, but she's very professional. She's good with editing. I love watching her.
Yeah, and so her that video you're talking about came across my feed, but I didn't get a chance to see it. And then your video came out, and I went back and watched it, and I'm like, oh my god. And the thing about that struck me is, yeah, they're both freaks. They'd try it. They would do it. And the thing about it is, I don't care. In the
No,
end,
I
I don't care.
I don't care. But somebody else showed a picture on one of those TikToks. I don't know if you saw this picture. It has Bill
No,
Clinton standing there, and Donald Trump turned to the side toward Bill Clinton, and his hand over Bill Clinton's crotch area. That's a real picture. That wasn't AI. That was actually an old
you know what?
picture. Oh wow! Didn't Al Franklin get fired for that shit?
No, you mean Al Franken?
Yeah, Al Franken.
Suppose I guess. I mean, he was like, yeah. Apparently, it was anything like this, but I mean, Stella's take. That's why he hates Hillary Clinton because he wanted Bubba all to himself. Which
Jealousy.
I mean, I couldn't stop laughing when she said that because it's wow, and
Well,
that's the thing.
like I said
Yeah,
in my
but
last TikTok, I said there's an old saying: "Hell hath no fury like an orange piece of shit scorned." So
wow.
who knows?
I mean, and Hillary forgave a lot, but I don't know if you can get there, honey. I'm sorry. That's just wow.
Well, here's
Um,
the thing I wonder. Here's the thing I wonder when you hear about that, and Peter Thiel, who's acknowledged to be gay, was going to Epstein's Island too. Are we really looking at something simply of old white men abusing young girls, or is this some P Diddy shit?
it's it's bigger than that. And you don't human traffic just one sex.
Yeah.
Not if you want to make money the way they did. I find it hard to believe that part hasn't come out yet. It
Maybe
would have
that's
come
what he's
out.
so worried about.
Yeah, that would have come out if Epstein hadn't had his accident in prison, hanging himself. But yeah, it's all par for the course. This was an operation, and as I said in a video, this is not about sex. This is about power and owning
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
This is what they could do, is to own people. And the reaction to all this is now we can talk about the Epstein files. It doesn't matter anymore, to be
No.
honest,
No, it
because
doesn't. Well,
those
it
emails.
does. It
Well, it
does
does to an
matter
extent.
in
Go ahead.
this sense that there are other men that need to be exposed.
Oh,
But Donald
yes.
Trump's been taken down pretty hard now. We almost don't need those files for Donald Trump. Donald
No.
Trump is fucked.
And I was telling you before we came online, there's an article in the New York Times talking about the Republicans tried to suppress all of Epstein. They made it
Yeah.
worse because the Oversight Committee came up with a subpoena to bring all the Epstein stuff in from James Comey's office, but they also included everything from the estate, including the emails. Those emails were subpoenaed not by Democrats, but by the Republican head of the Oversight Committee, James Comey, which I think is
Whoops.
fucking karma. Ooh.
Whoops.
And then the Democrats found these emails and they released them because they're on the committee. They have access to the files. Hi, look at all this. And he can't hide from these. You can't hide from these emails. Why would you email a lie? They don't. That's business stuff that was being emailed. Business conversations too. It's oof.
Well, there's this big question. Did Jeffrey Epstein commit suicide or was he murdered? Let's understand this. In those emails, Jeffrey Epstein was talking about exposing Donald Trump and taking him down.
Yes.
That was talked about. It paints a whole different perspective on whether he died or by his own hand or somebody else did it. It really makes you wonder now with all that information and just those emails. It's fucking crazy. And make no mistake, those emails, the DOJ has those same emails. They just refuse to release it.
They had them. And again, if they had them before, as part of the evidence, if it wasn't for Comey's subpoena, the Democrats wouldn't have had them. And they released them. Of course they released them. And again, he vanished for what, 24 hours?
Yeah.
Until Thursday to Friday, because they don't know what to do. This caught everyone flat-footed. Grinder Mike Johnson thought he had this under control. He figured, when you hear him saying what Democrats refused to vote to release the files, no, dude, they refused a voice vote of unanimous consent. Right. In other words, the ayes have it without even saying anything. No, they want these people on the record. As we know.
That's an important thing to suggest. They said they denied unanimous consent. All Mike Johnson wanted to do is to make sure that people could vote for it and not be exposed for who they were, so that they would be more likely to turn it down. If you didn't know who voted what and it didn't pass, they could say, well, I did. Well, you can't prove that. And the Democrats did the right thing to make them vote on it. So everybody publicly has to be identified as to what they voted for.
And the rats are leaving the sinking ship. When Andy Biggs, everyone read my lips, Andy Biggs, one of the biggest Trump humpers from Texas, said he's going to vote yes. That tells you everything. They're saying up to 100 Republicans on the House side are going to vote to release the Epstein files. So when it lands in the Senate, what's going to happen there, guys?
Well, everybody suggests the Senate won't pass it. But I will tell you this, if the House passes it with 100 Republicans, they're going to be hard pressed not to pass it.
Yeah, you can't get around it. You can't fight it. And the thing about it is, there are senators coming up for re-election on the Republican side. If you voted no, that's going to be right on right up. You're going to have to fight that. And you think about it right now. A week ago, it was going to be a mess. Now a week ago the Democrats took their leverage and pissed on it. They had leverage. They caved. Okay. We can get into that argument, blah, 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 blah. We've already done that. But what happened is with that move and the House Democrats move, they flipped the whole script. Trump saying this is a hoax because of the shutdown that they caused. Dude, no one's hearing you. No one's hearing you. No one's hearing you. Because now all of a sudden the connections are being made. And a lot of the Republicans know that even their base are feeling that way. Only the sickest sycophants, i.e., Megyn Kelly.
Yeah.
And if you saw that act, I'm going, did you really say that?
He was basically saying that if the girl was 5 years old, that's sick. But if she's 15, yeah, you can understand that.
Yeah, we can understand it. I mean, and I'm watching. Honestly, really? And there was a creator made a good point, is that Megyn Kelly, she goes, a lot of those women that were victimized were poor, and their mothers knew. And her point was, you sometimes you do stuff to survive, and there were a lot of mothers who knew what was going on, who put their daughters in that situation because of the money.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's okay then.
Yeah, it's family. Okay.
But these people knew it was illegal when they did it. And they weren't under any pressure. So that's a fucking poor
argument.
If
you go, why was no one bringing it up? Because you're talking about children and a complicit family member. Of course, money's going to talk. Everything got hidden for so long. And so here we are now. And will this bring down Trump? I don't know.
I think so.
If the Republicans are starting to pull the ripcord, how can he survive? How much longer can he survive? Because the threat of, I'm going to primary you. Yeah, but with what?
Who cares?
Someone who defended you as a pedophile?
I want to talk to all the people out there, the doomsayers that always said this. Remember back when all this other stuff was happening, and we had people out here going, yeah, and now we've forgotten about Epstein. We won't. They got away with Epstein. I said, just fucking relax. Epstein will flare up. Don't worry about it. And of course it does. And then other people came out to me recently and said, oh, I know what the Republicans are going to do. They're going to say, if you vote for the Epstein files, then we're going to vote against the ACA. We're going to leverage it that way. I go, I don't think that's going to happen either. We're talking about a huge story with these Epstein files. And if they have to lay it on the line as I'm voting this way or that way, you've got a clear choice. You're either going to vote with your constituents or vote with Donald Trump. Depends on who you're more afraid of.
Right.
And the fact of the matter is Donald Trump is losing power and control every minute of every day. Donald Trump's going to lose every time.
And like I said, he's directed the DOJ to go chase Democrats for this hoax. If it's a hoax, why is the DOJ going to investigate a hoax?
Good point.
You keep saying the word salad comes back to you. You can't get out of this, bro. You ain't getting out of this.
That's how I know Donald Trump is terrified and complicit with everything in these files, because he projects all the time. This comes out. These things come out with Bill Clinton's name in it and somebody else's name in it. And he says, we're going to investigate Bill Clinton. We're going to investigate all the Democrats simply to distract from him. But the only reason he's saying that, and I don't mind, I'll sacrifice Bill Clinton, every fucking other Democrat, just so we can get the facts on Donald Trump. But when he says, no, it's somebody else doing this stuff, you know it's him.
Right. And again, same argument. What if it's Bill Clinton? Who gives a fuck?
We cool don't,
because we're not in the cult. And if he did that to young girls, one, sorry, Hillary, that's bad for you. Here we go again. And two, he gets everything he gets deserved for him because you went to the next step. And these guys don't know how this is playing now. It's not going to play like the old days. It's over. And he
Well,
can't get out of it. And if this thing with Bill Clinton's true, which means that, let's be honest, if it's women and if it's boys, girls are one thing, boys is another, especially from the MAGA. Oh,
yeah,
that would be it. That'd be the death knell. And again, all these guys who do this shit, who have gone to Thailand and done all that, have done both sides. I'm sorry, that's a fact. For them, it's about power.
yeah.
It's sex as an extreme of power. And the thing about it, that one, and you can see they're running, they don't know what to say. They don't know what to
Oh,
say. They can't, you can't say the Democrats did what? What do we do? You subpoenaed them. This is not a hoax. We didn't create Jeffrey Epstein to get Donald Trump. Maybe he becomes president 10 years after, 20 years after what he did. No, it doesn't
I'm
work like that,
curious
dude.
if there's any validity to the Bill Clinton Donald Trump thing. I'm trying to think how Donnie might try to spin this. Now, keep in mind, Donnie's a dumbass, so he might say, "Oh no, it's completely explainable." I checked Barack Obama's birth certificate to make sure he was born in America, and I was just checking Bill Clinton's gender identity. And the visual inspection wasn't enough, so I needed to taste
You
it to
needed to
make
get up
sure.
close and personal. Um, and
I
it's like you can't, and you can laugh at it, but this is it's so on brand. It
It
so
is.
makes sense. And that's sad because that man is now running our country into the ground. Basically, at this point, I think what you're seeing with the Trump regime and all these people with this coming out, they're looting the treasury.
Oh
They're
yeah.
trying to get as much fucking money as they can before it all falls apart. Hence, where the contingency fund disappeared. Hence, money designated for certain programs are vanishing. Um, I haven't heard if SNAP's been paid yet, paid out after he signed the
Did you hear
government
what they
okay.
said? Just said
No, no.
the word now is that Donald Trump or whoever else in the administration now wants to force everybody to reapply for SNAP if they want to get back on it so they can
That's
weed out
not
the
the deal,
fraudsters.
motherfucker.
No, it's not the
That's not
deal.
the deal. You're changing the deal. See, why they already in the system. You took the money away for what they had to reapply. You see, this is where making a deal with the devil, Democrats, doesn't work. But you see, that's not going to work. That's just going to piss off people more.
Yeah.
It's getting it. It's getting to the point that when you tried this stupid, if you want on top of that, there was a creator who was talking about they are taking $2 billion out of uh, urban development, out of HUD, is designed for low income housing and supplements for disabled and the mentally ill. Okay. They're taking that money out of that program to give them direct payments to supplement their home. Because understanding when you come to treating people who are either homeless or treating people with mental health, a place to live gives you stability. There's no stress on you of
Right.
survival, especially for the mentally ill. Okay, people who are dealing with mental issues. If they're home, then you could treat them properly. These assholes, and this is coming probably from Russ Vought and the Heritage Foundation, and actually this proposal is coming from Peter Thiel's partner who runs Cicero, some other Plantier part of the Plantier company. They want to prove that these people earn getting a place to live once
Yeah.
they get over their mental health. But it doesn't work. It's a catch 22. If you're stressing out where to live, how can you get healthy mentally? It's bad enough with people trying to make rent. If you have an issue, it's even worse. And where's that money going into these so-called programs? No, that money is going into someone's pocket.
Yeah.
They've got a hold of the purse and they are basically emptying it out, looking for more coin. And we're all sitting here going, and the only things that are getting funded is ICE and their Gestapo running loose and getting worse by the day. Um, this is turn into a giant grift, and it's the end of the grift, and people know it's time to get as much money we can and run.
Yeah.
Um,
There,
and
there's one question that I'm going to go back to the Bill Clinton, Donald Trump thing
mm,
once, and then we'll be done with it for today.
mm,
But there's one very important question that has to be asked, and we need the answer because a lot of people want to know. And this question isn't of Donald Trump; it's a question for Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton needs to give us a bit of a comparison. Give us um, his personal opinion based on first-hand experience. In terms of quality, Donald Trump, Monica Lewinsky. And more importantly, was there a cigar involved? That's what we need to know. I'm
oh
asking
dear
for a
God,
friend.
their AI vids of Trump's face imposed on Monica Lewinsky, running around calling him Donegal Lewinsky.
I heard that.
Um,
Yeah.
and no, I thought your question was going to be who's top. I
Clearly,
guess it's
Bill. Clearly,
yeah. I
Bill.
mean, I find it hard to believe that Trump's anyone's top. He'd be the bottom. Period. There's no
Yeah.
way. It ain't gonna work.
Well,
But
just, even if none of that's true, the image is out there. The thought process is out there. Donald Trump is submissive to a Democrat, Bill Clinton. This
oh
has
my
got to
God.
be fucking with MAGA.
And as you said many times, this is the worst thing for a narcissist. The
Yeah.
worst
Oh, it's the
fucking
worst
thing.
thing.
I mean, because it's not going away. People are jumping on it. They're starting to make a jokes of it, which is even worse. And the thing about it is, a lot of the MAGA, not the hardcore 36%. You can't change those guys.
No.
But the Republicans who are skirting on the conservative MAGA are starting to go, what did we sign up for? Because they're like, they could live with the economy coming apart. They can't live with this, which makes no sense, obviously. And you can't defend this. Stop trying to defend it. It's over. The more you try to defend it, Megyn Kelly, it doesn't work. Podcasters are going out of their way trying to defend it. Stop it. You look bad. It
Well,
ain't
the,
working.
the thing about it is somebody said something to me and I can't remember who it was, and I had trouble believing it, but maybe it's true. Donald Trump and the Republicans are terrified of these Epstein files coming out. And we all thought it was about old men touching young girls. But this person said, yeah, but they're okay with it already. I mean, Megyn Kelly pointed that out. Well, she's
Yes.
15. So maybe that is okay. Maybe it's the other stuff that they're really concerned about. Now we hear about Donald Trump and Bill Clinton. That would be crazy. I never even thought of that. That wasn't on my bingo card. So that could be. But there's also the international and the financial aspects of this. In these
Mm-hmm.
emails, they suggest a connection to literally Russian spies, Lazarov and some other people.
Which is not
Uh,
surprising. I
Not
mean,
surprising.
the Russians be on that in a minute for
And, and
information
and
and
and let's be honest, if there was a picture of Donald Trump of doing anything at Jeffrey Epstein's home, how would that end up in the hands of Vladimir Putin if not Jeffrey Epstein handing it to him? That'd be the
yeah.
only way. And secondly, there's an issue with Israel. Now everybody goes, "Oh, don't talk about Israel." But here's the deal: Ghislaine Maxwell and her father were tied to Israel and Mossad. Her
Yes.
father was. So what this all could be would be much bigger, not more important, but bigger than old white men just touching young girls.
Yeah. And
It's bigger
there are
than that.
consequences. Look, if you want to see how this is all about rich men being bored. Rich men have nothing else to do. Rich men wanted to press their power on people who are powerless. I don't know if you heard this story, and I ran across this last night. But the Italians are now Italian authorities or prosecutors are investigating that during the Balkans War in the 90s, during the siege of Sarajevo, that rich people from Italy from England, from Germany, paid the Bosnian Serbian forces up to $90,000 apiece, $90,000 each, to go to Sarajevo to snipe human beings.
Wow.
They called it a human safari. And if you wanted to kill kids, you have to throw in a few more thousand more.
You know what that
And
sounds like? That sounds like a bad TV show or a bad movie. We've seen those scenarios
well, I read
in
the story. It's
TV
called The
shows and
Most
movies.
Dangerous Game in high
Yeah.
school. And but you sit there and you go, and here's the thing. They're taking his work seriously. He has the receipts. He has names. He's turned it over to the Italian government, and they're
Wow.
looking into it. And you kind of sit there and go, this was in the 90s. Here we are now talking about Epstein, which happened the late 90s, in the 90s. Now we're still
Early
extending.
2000s.
Yeah. What is wrong with these people when it comes to money? I mean, I did a video about Peter Thiel and this whole thing about the housing thing. When I've read some of Thiel's shit. Okay, some of the stuff he espouses.
He's nuts.
He literally considers himself a deity. That him and his techno bros, I swear to God, I swear this is on in his thinking. He and his techno bros consider themselves the new gods because of technology, and they're going to move humanity to a new place where they will show them the way. All we have to do is give them everything, which includes our fealty and anything they want, and they toss us crumbs. That's who they think they are. And that's all tied into the war on poverty, the arresting the homeless, getting people too sick that they have to get bankrupt. The idea is they're picking up homeless people, especially in Utah, all right, for treatment. We know these are work camps. You've gotten rid of the workforce for farms. I mean, this is going to happen. It's getting there. What do you think they're doing with these so-called, concentration camps for ICE?
Yeah.
Eventually, they're not deporting them. What are they going to do with them? And these are all for-profit prisons. They're making money off bodies. That's why they're picking everybody up no matter what. And no one says, and it's where rich people have gotten to the point that their money makes them almost godlike in their eyes. It's sick.
It
And so
is
they
pretty
try to
sick.
come up with a way to use their power to make them to help people, but they don't. They help themselves. And we see this every time. So this story about Sarajevo, it rolls because that's when they're so bored, or they just want to more feel something because there's nothing inside. If it includes killing women, children, and men, helpless, sure. What's it cost me? What's it cost me? Nothing. What's 90
Yeah.
grand to these people? So,
Nothing. Yeah.
and that's what we're fighting. We're fighting something that is so insidious. It's like fucking fighting every day a Bond villain. Honestly, these guys are Bond villains, the way they look at the
True.
world. And you see a Bond villain, you think it's ridiculous. But honestly, a lot of these guys do think they're Blofeld. Probably sitting there with their cats because because they think they could run everything better if everyone would just get out of their way.
Right.
It's crazy, but you could see it. I mean, one comedian made a joke. He's talking about, yeah, it's a bit. There's a bar in Chicago where they have this puppet they call Chad the Bird. He's funny. It's comedy, but it's also like political. It's satire. He did a
Right.
bit on the 50th anniversary of, not 50th, or forgot what the anniversary is, of Batman being released. And his point is that what he was talking about, he goes, so let me get this straight. Bruce Wayne has all this money, is totally a philanthropist, but he goes out of his way to use his money also to fight crime. And he goes, where is Batman in real life?
Yeah.
There are rich people who are like the character of Bruce Wayne, but they use their money not for good. And his point is that his point is simple. Their point is simple. These people, we've let capitalism get to the point that it's out of control. It wasn't designed for that.
No.
No one's going to knock anyone making money. But if you don't have a socialist system underneath to lift up the middle class, what do you get? You get Victorian England. You get America in the early part of the Industrial Revolution. But what happened? You had fights. I mean, they want to return to that thinking that everyone's going to capitulate. But the more you press us, as you can see, people are fighting back. First at the ballot box. I mean, they hate Zoran Mandani. Why do you hate Zoran Mandani? Because he's speaking to the people in the middle class, and you don't want that.
Right.
Oh,
exactly.
You hate that. That's why you pressure Senate Democrats to roll over because the airlines are not going to make money over Christmas because if they shut everything down. That's why they rolled over. They rolled over for money. And as long as money is in politics, it's going to corrupt everything. But they're finding out now that we're not playing that game on the ballot box. And for those of you people who are basically saying, well, the Democrats quit, so I'm going to quit. Fuck you. I've seen a lot of those videos. Well, why should I vote? Well, you saw what happened the last time you didn't vote. I mean, they think that we have to do one thing only. No, we're not. We can fight Republicans and evil Democrats at the same time and come up with Democrats that will fight the evil Republicans, and then we win in the end. They really think we are that stupid. Yeah. They really think that Americans, that those 8, and I've seen Tim Kaine from Virginia, the senator, his take on it. Yeah, keep laughing, motherfucker. Yeah, we know you can't be, you're still in that seat, but we will remember. Keep laughing. Keep calling us ridiculous. Ain't going to work. Chucky Schumer's running for the hills. Trust me, Chuck, we haven't forgotten. And we won't. And that's going to be the litmus test for the next election coming up. The Democratic primaries are going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, and I've said, when people say to me that I've given up on the Democrats because 4 people or 8 people capitulated and voted for the continuing resolution, and now I'm going to give up on the Democrats. Well, that's kind of ridiculous. Let's be honest. Chuck Schumer orchestrated that thing to do that and to save his ass by allowing him to vote against it. But there's a quick and easy way for the Democrats to change the whole narrative of the Democratic Party. It's very simple. If you get rid of Chuck Schumer and get a fighter like Sheldon Whitehouse or some of the other senators that are speaking out and fighting, that will change the narratives of the Democrats in the Republican Party. That's all you have to do. You get rid of Schumer, you put somebody strong in there, let them fight, then the perception of the Democrats will be entirely different than what it is now. It's a simple fix.
And I think part of it didn't go all the way because when the House came back, House Democrats came out fighting. House Democrats saw what happened in the Senate, and they came out and just started punching people in the mouth at every committee meeting. I mean, they were not there to play. Hence the Epstein release. Hence the fights right now. They ain't seen nothing yet. House Democrats are pissed because they know that's going to cost them.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard very much from Hakeem Jeffries. You know why? Because your party is pissed at you too, bro. They know what's going on, and they want to fight. They want to scrap, and I've heard it, and I'll give them credit. All right, because they know what's going on. The Democrats got lucky on this one. This Epstein thing blew up quicker than they thought. It got out of control. I mean, I love watching Mike Johnson flop around like a fish out of water. It ain't working this time, Mikey. You're screwed.
You're screwed. And people think that he's going to get removed or vacated. But there's some thought, and I don't think I'm necessarily against it, is that even if the Republicans want him out for whatever reasons, the Democrats save him just to be stuck with him. That's a possibility.
I I think that doesn't make sense because then you end up I wouldn't you can't trust that guy. Okay. And I don't think he'll do it on a general principle because he is a true believer. He's a true believer. He believes in what he's doing. He
You
really thinks
gotta
it's best for the country, and that's scary,
you,
but that's
you
his
got to keep
issues.
Mike Johnson in till at least the end of next week.
Yeah.
You have to keep him in because next week they're going to take the vote on the Epstein files, and that's going to have a serious effect on Donald Trump. He's going to freak the fuck out if
Right.
100 Democrat or Republicans vote against him. But if they kick out Mike Johnson this week or early next week, and then they try to figure out who's going to replace him, if that takes 2 weeks, 3 weeks, as long as there's no Speaker of the House, nothing happens.
I
I want
mean,
that Epstein file vote first, and then you can do what the fuck you want with Mike
I mean,
Johnson.
Democrats can't do anything. It has to come from the Republican side. I don't think there's enough Republicans that want that job. Do you really want the speakership right now?
No,
No,
not
I
as
wouldn't
long
want
as
that.
Donald Trump is president.
No. And secondly, do you want that fight? They don't want that fight. That fight would be ugly. It would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
You don't want that fight.
And
So
divide the Republican Party even more.
even further, I mean, you can live with Mike and John. You could yell. Look, I mean, speakers have been getting shit from their own parties for decades,
Yeah.
and for you, it's not anything new. Mike Johnson is just the problem with Mike Johnson is that he's not Speaker of the House. He's Donald Trump's Speaker of the House. And what the point is that he is not using Congress, the House, for its constitutional check and balance of the judiciary and the executive branch. He thinks that we need to follow the president step by step. It doesn't work like that, bro. Same thing with John Thune. It doesn't work like that. Your job is to check him. You can agree with him, work on legislation with him, but your job is to check him.
Donald
Read
Trump
the
said it himself.
Constitution.
Donald Trump said it himself. He was joking in the White House saying he's the Speaker of the House and Mike Johnson is little more than a puppet. And that's actually true. I mean, you can see it in everything he does. The whole idea of sending people on vacation for 6 weeks. Some people have suggested the reason they did that is to put a little delay in because they knew these emails were coming. And that way it could delay those emails from coming out. But it was an inevitability. He had to come back at some point.
Yeah, he had no choice after what happened in the Senate. And the thing about it is they're not legislation is not going to get through. Okay, it's the same thing over and over again. We're going to be in a deadlock for another year because nothing's going to come through. Nothing
Another
of
year.
significance.
We'll be in a deadlock until 28 because when the Democrats take the House and presumably the Senate, nothing will get done because Donald Trump won't sign off on anything unless we have a supermajority. So that whole period, 2 years, is going to be nothing but investigations and hearings.
Which I'm fine with because then we can put some bite in some stuff and make people squirm, especially Kristi Noem and the head of the Border Patrol, all of them. They need to squirm. That's the thing. They are getting away with what they get away because they can. Who's going to question what they're doing? I mean, you see the videos pulling weapons on people. There's been another shooting. These guys are starting to get out of control because a lot of these ICE agents, not being trained professionals, being basically white supremacists, are really not doing well with people protesting them, calling them names.
Did you see that there were some big crowds in Chicago, and the sheriff's department in Chicago was pushing back the crowds, and I got a little rough there too. I'm surprised the sheriff's department from the Chicago area is involved in this. Why would Pritzker allow them to do that?
I don't know what it is with local police. Maybe they're complicit because they could see the crimes being committed by these people. No warrants. I mean, honestly, for the local PDs, you can't do what these people are doing. You can't. You can't do that. You can't walk up to a citizen and just say, I'm going to arrest you. Why? Because I want to. ICE can do that, which is illegal. And that's the thing. No one talks about that. And this is on the Democrats. I'm going to bring this up for the Democrats. You don't want to talk about ICE and immigration because you're going to say, then they're going to go, look, they're weak on immigration.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to. They want to get around of ICE because they want these illegals here to take our jobs. No, dudes, you step up and going from a human ethical standpoint. What they're doing is wrong. We had a process. It wasn't perfect, but it wasn't dragging people out of their homes in the middle of the night or out of a daycare or picking up taco vendors because you suspect they're illegal. Oh, by the way, the lady they dragged out of that daycare, she had
Yeah.
proper papers. She
Yeah.
was here legally. She was doing the process. And a judge has already said that she needs to be released. Do you know why ICE won't release her? Because they're saying she's some part of human trafficking, some human trafficking thing. Where's your evidence? Oh, because we said so. Where's the constitutionality in all this? That's
Well,
the
then
thing, Democrats. Go ahead. I'm
you
sorry.
better deport Donald Trump because clearly he's connected to human trafficking.
Yeah.
He's more connected than this woman is.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, Democrats don't phrase it as an immigration problem issue. Phrase it as a constitutional issue. They are taking people's rights, and not only the people they suspect of being illegal. You're arresting protesters for standing in front of you and having their First Amendment rights, and saying you'd be threatened.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a bit showing in 60 Minutes when they asked Trump about it. Oh, I don't think they're going far enough with the ICE abuse. All right. They asked, then they brought the director of the Border Patrol, that fucking ghoul, and he said, because they showed pictures of protesters standing for like Portland or other places in Chicago where it got pepper sprayed in their face, the preacher that got hit in the face with a pepper ball.
Yeah.
All right. His reaction, they told him about all this. He goes, well, they shouldn't stand, if they get standing in the way of a pepper ball, what can I do about it? The point is, they have become carte blanche, and Democrats are afraid to talk about immigration to start weak. No, don't frame it like that. Show the abuse and saying here, there's a way to enforce immigration policies without being draconian, without taking everyone's rights. Why are you setting up prisons for private prisons and putting these people in to be abused? I mean, that's what you got to do. Make a stand, damn it.
The thing about it is whether you like how immigration is handled or not, the red line should be you may not like what we're doing, but it's going up to the line of what we can do constitutionally. Now, if you don't like what the Constitution says, change the Constitution. But there's no way you can support or applaud for people using tactics that violate the Constitution. That defeats the whole purpose of having a fucking Constitution.
But and you talk to some of these agents when they get confronted, and they say, "You need a warrant." No, I don't. Yeah, you do. No, I don't. We don't need a warrant. We don't need to tell you why we're arresting you. I mean, they say this because they've been told that already. Stephen Miller said that we're going to give you immunity. Right, brother? They're not getting immunity.
No,
Ain't happening. You know, it's not happening. And this is how sick these people are. Okay, I have to remember her name. So Boston University has a group of college Republicans led by some little asshole called Zach Siegler. Zach Siegler wants to be the next whatever, like Charlie Kirk. Okay.
Right.
So there's a car wash in Allston, Massachusetts. Okay. Down the street from BU. He's been calling ICE on this place for months to do a raid because they're brown people washing people's cars. Okay. So ICE finally did a raid and arrested people. And this guy's getting shit. And he's saying, well, I did this because they're taking American jobs. Hey, motherfucker, because I know you went to Boston University. I don't think you ever did any kind of lick of labor in your life. I don't see white guys clean cars. So fuck you. But see, that's how they are. That's how they think. It's an ethnic cleansing. They think he's using it so he can become the next Charlie Kirk.
Well, the thing is,
it's going to work for him. It's not.
They're all looking for clout. The woman down
Right.
in Georgia who called it on the Hyundai plan is running for an office that she won't win because
Right.
she's an idiot and it blew up in her face. Now, this guy is trying to make a stand and build some clout by being one of the people that calls ICE on a bunch of brown people. That's the whole unseriousness of the Republican Party. Everything they do is performative. No
Right.
substance at all. It's about making an impression. Donald Trump bombing boats out of the ocean. That's performative. People die,
Right.
so what? But that's performative. Everything is about portraying an image that they're tough guys and they're strong and they're hard on crime and hard on immigration, but none of it fucking works. I mean,
No.
we literally have other countries calling Donald Trump a war criminal for what he's doing to those
Right.
boats. Go
And
ahead, Donnie. Go do some travel abroad. See how that works for you.
it's all it's dumb, but unfortunately they have the keys to things that can cause a lot of damage. The
Yeah.
the carrier group has reached the Caribbean, and Pete Hegseth did one of his speeches like, you know, we're the War Department. We're not going to go to war um, somewhere in the Caribbean because we're protecting America from drug dealers. Dude, that's what do you have a DEA for?
Yeah.
And and this is I will kind of predict give them about a week as this Epstein stuff starts to really stew, and shit's going to happen there. They're going to do
Yeah.
something totally illegal when it comes to an invasion. And everyone's going, I know all your, these MAGA chunks who play Call of Duty thinking, yeah, great. People die in war, guys, on both
Yeah.
sides. So you explain when coffins come home, because Trump won't be there, why their loved one died. Explain it. I know Pete Hegseth wouldn't be there. I mean,
Yeah.
this is what happens when we have an incompetent man running something he wanted to run. He thinks that it's going to be just like when he was a Fox News host. He
Yeah.
doesn't see the military as a defense mechanism. The Department of Defense was that defense mechanism for the United States to project power when need be. He sees all that as we should be bombing anyone all the time,
Yeah.
that we should use the military for war. He doesn't get that that concept is gone. And it's an archaic thing and it makes you a bully and no one likes it. And the point in this man is so sick and weird that he took away the promotion of a woman special forces officer with a Purple Heart who has served in SEAL Team 6 because it wasn't a good image to have a woman
Yeah.
projecting that she's part of SEAL teams or special forces. Why? Because he lives in a world that doesn't exist anymore. And if you're going to make that decision, Pete, you do at least 1 day of BUDS training. Now, if you know what I'm talking about, that's the SEALs training down in San Diego, where special forces soldiers come from all ranks to become SEALs, and a lot of them fail
Most of them.
because that training is ridiculous. And to have a woman get through BUDS training, become a leader, instead of embracing it and thanking her for her service to our country, ready to be the first one to put online, you do this narcissistic, misogynistic bullshit. You get your ass down there and do 1 day of SEAL training. If you could survive that, you have a right to speak. Dude, you'll be ringing that bell in 30 minutes. Jesus. And this
Well,
is who's running this country.
when you talk about uh, Pete Hegseth and some of these other peoples and all this performative shit, there's a rule of thumb that somebody once said that would apply to these people and point out where these people are losers. It says, if you're an alpha males don't go around telling everybody they're an alpha male. Rich and powerful people don't run around telling people that they're rich and powerful. They just are. They just do it.
Yep.
And Pete Hegseth is somebody who probably doesn't have a lot of self-esteem, deservedly so. He's a drunk. He's a piece of shit. He's a failure. He failed out of the military, and now he's trying so hard to prove himself of being a top shelf military guy, and he's not. Same with Donald Trump, trying to prove he's a great president. He's not even close. He's the worst president we've ever had. These
And
people are trying to gaslight folks and try to prove that they are something that they're not.
yeah, and it's getting worse. And now we have to talk about something that people don't understand, or it's gotten lost in the mass media, is the economy. Let's get
Oh
down to
yeah,
the brass tacks of this. Um, there's who's that little smiley weird dude that is part of Trump's economic
Hasser,
council? Hasser.
Hasser.
Okay, Ken Hasser. That dude is the guy you don't want your kids buying ice cream from the ice cream truck.
No,
He is fucking creepy. Okay.
he's the kind of kid when I was younger and less controlled and not as smart, I would beat up just because of the look of his face.
Yeah. And also he's creepy. You probably do someone a favor.
Yeah,
Okay. Because this guy, he's been between Scott Bissett, Howard Lutkin, and this guy. They're trying to sell you that the economy's fine. How are they going to sell us that? Oh, by the way, it's simple. They're not releasing any economic data for the month of October.
right.
What's their excuse? Well, the government shut down. Bullshit. Those things are set on automatic. Data comes in. The data's there. Don't give me this, because he was on one Fox News thing. They're talking about, what about the CPI index, which is consumer price index, showing why inflation is going up, why it's going up, what prices are being, what goods are being affected. Well, we didn't do a survey. Fucking bullshit. It's on automatic. This has been done for decades. And then they said, well, we may come to a partial. His statement at the end of this interview was, we'll just have to concoct something. And then he smiled, like this creepy smile of his. You mean you're going to lie? Okay. But the problem is, private industry knows what's going on. They know approximately they lost 50,000 jobs. They know more layoffs are going on. They know corporate is cutting back on jobs because they're trying to maximize profit because shit hits the fan. They know tariffs are not working. That's affecting prices. They know this. They just lie. And they're going to lie some more.
Yeah. But
And
Donald Trump will go out and say, yeah, but what about the stock market? What about the stock market? Um, and the stock market is all speculative, and it may be okay for a while because it was strong in the first place, but it will catch up. And as an illustration of that, um, we've got drops in the stock market of almost 800 points yesterday. And as we record
profits.
this at about recording this at about 324 or 3 o'clock 24 minutes after 3, we're down 336.62. That's over and above the 7 or 800
Right.
yesterday. So the stock market is starting to react, and
Right.
don't look for this to improve unless something fucking happens. The only thing that could improve this, I would think, the only thing that could improve the economy at this point in the stock market is if the Supreme Court comes out and says, "Yeah, tariffs are fucking illegal. You got to take them off." Then
Yeah,
it might boost up.
they have to come on. Look, when Italian companies are saying we're not selling pasta in the United States because the tariffs are too high, even for us. And when they say they're going to take choices off the shelves, people say, "Oh, great, America." No, that means they're taking away a source of food
Right.
because of the tariffs. Now they're saying, no, they're just overreacting to the tariffs. It's not like that. We haven't said them. Really? Then what's the truth? That's the thing. They're on, they're off. They're on, they're off. Every time someone reacts to it, no, that's not what we mean. What do you mean? I mean, Trump's latest statement on the economy was that Democrats are fooling you with the con of affordability. Everything's affordable. Grocery prices are down, gas is down. Fucking, like you said, projection. The con of affordability. That's what you fucking pulled on the majority of dumbasses last year in the election. I'll make everything drop with a wave of my hand. Well, everything's up, dude, because supply and demand. Everything's up because your tariffs got in the way of everything. And no, dumbasses, we're not getting a $2,000 check from tariff dividends. No, it doesn't work like that. Oh my God, you see the videos of some of these people? You're going to
Well, the
have
thing
to
about it is,
apologize. Fuck
I
you.
think I think they somebody figured it out. I think it's right. But if they paid to everybody $2,000 that could get $2,000, we're talking about $600 billion. Where are you
Yeah,
getting that from? Where are you getting that from? Because he said he got 17 trillion in tariffs, which isn't true. It was more like 50 to 90 billion dollars that he's gotten in tariffs. And the important thing is he got it from us. So what
right.
the fuck? You're going to give us money you already took away from us?
I
Does
mean,
nobody know what the fuck's going on?
the Supreme Court acknowledged that. I mean, during the hearings on the tariff, had the Trump whatever attorney he had there say admitted, yeah, it's a tax on 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 Americans. See, that's the point. The tariff is a tax
It is a
on
tax.
us imposed by the president that he doesn't have power to do. Only Congress does. And that's the thing that keeps getting missing all these economic things and the money he's moving. He doesn't have the power to do that. Money is designated in a department, and that's the way the money's got to stay. You don't
Yeah.
move money willy nilly. But no one's taken him. The Congress hasn't stood up and gone. If a Congress went to court and said, no, this is our realm, you can't do it, then the courts would have to stop it. But they're not doing it because the Congress is led by a bunch of weak assholes who think that Trump is Congress, which he's not.
No.
I mean, and the problem with the economic thing is people can say, well, what good is it? We don't need the statistics. Yeah, you kinda, because already business has to project. If they can't make projections, then it's just going to make cuts. Also, eventually, it's going to come to a head. And like you said, 1,100 points in the stock market. Already, banks are still not liquid. They're borrowing money from the Fed. Can they pay it back? Is the question. If people start to panic and someone says, we don't have enough money to pay our deposits, the run's on a bank. You get runs on a bank, you're fucked. I mean, these are things that can happen in a moment. And in this administration or regime is not ready because they're playing fuck games. I mean, I can't. I saw a picture of the Oval Office again, and I just see more gold.
Yeah.
Why? It looks ridiculous. It's not even attractive. It's gross. And
Yeah.
where's that coming from? Gee,
Well,
where's that money coming from?
that's the question. First of all, with regards to them not putting out the numbers, they say, well, we were shut down. Well, what are you going to do in November and December? Because it's not getting better.
Right.
You don't wait a month and it's going to get better. Eventually, they're going to have no excuses for putting out the numbers, and the numbers can't help but look bad. They're just
Yep.
fucking bad.
Yep. And it's because you could see it in the real life economy. Prices. Sorry, dude. They're there. You could keep the thing about it, his 36% will hang on to that. Trump saying that the affordability thing is a scam, instead of Republicans doing something to make things affordable, they're just going to lie about it. No,
Yeah.
DoorDash is not going to be your economic um, bellwether because
Yeah.
because they paid less for breakfast products, and fuck, Walmart isn't either.
No.
And now I am seeing like a lot of stores starting to cut prices. They're starting to do more deals. Yeah, because they know what's coming. They're not stupid.
Yeah.
Corporations know if they're going to get their tax cuts, but you're going to lose so much. This is not helping anyone. And then This is getting worse. And as the election comes closer in November, these things are going to come to a head.
Yeah.
If the economy doesn't take a shit. And one thing we're talking about, like the Affordable Care Act, the Republicans are saying, yeah, great if you ban abortion. Because literally what they're proposing is, as an exchange, is a ban on abortion.
Yeah.
Face it, that's all it is.
Yeah.
So they'll make the choice. But
wait a
they're
minute.
not going
Wait a minute.
But
Didn't Lindsey Graham and all the Republicans say, we don't want a national abortion ban? Didn't they say that?
right. Yeah, this is that's one thing I'm glad, dear God, I'm glad that the Supreme Court denied a hearing on the possibility of overturn same-sex
Yeah.
marriages. Thank God. That would have been a disaster and a half. I'm glad they said no.
I'm glad they
'Cause that
showed some spine and did something against the Donald Trump administration.
and also I hope tariffs go the same way, because it has to go back into the hands of Congress and let them, because even Republicans are starting to see, especially Republicans in farm states, that they're fucked.
Yeah, they are.
That they're fucked. And so if you want to set tariffs, but let Congress set the tariffs. Let Congress talk about it. He's just arbitrarily just setting stuff up. And you can't just, oh, they don't give me one, I'm just going to raise tariffs. You can't do arbitrary shit like that. It doesn't, that's not your job. You're not a king. You're not the supreme leader. And he keeps forgetting. And that bugs the shit out of him.
Yeah.
That's why he says, well, they don't let me do what you want. Yeah, you're not supposed to get to do what you want.
Right.
You serve us. We don't serve you. And that's what I keep hate about Trump-la-fucks. And you see these comments, I get these comments too. Trump's your daddy. No, my father has passed away. God rest his soul. Okay. And even I said a couple of times, go fuck yourself. Okay. Sorry. All right. That's not the way it works. And I just, these people are starting to wear so fucking thin now because their act is not working.
Yeah.
Their act is old.
Well, don't you think that the wheels are starting to come off now, both for Republicans and certainly Donald Trump? I mean, we can talk about the Epstein files, we can talk about him and Bill Clinton, but then you got the economy, then you've got all these things going on, and they're at a point right now where Donald Trump would be a control freak because he's a narcissist, but he can't control all this stuff. He's getting hit every day from all sides for shit that he doesn't know what to do with. And this is going to cause him to deteriorate mentally and physically. And we're seeing it.
Oh, let's take a look at that man that right now. That ain't looking good. Is it me, or is he getting paler and pale, more sickly? Is it me? I mean, he is not functioning well. And everything's delusions of grandeur. See, the reason they're not coming up with it, let's be honest, the reason they're coming with the stats, because they're trying to keep the fantasy for him. He needs his fantasy that everything's okay. Everything's okay. Don't worry about it. It's all fake.
Don't worry about it. You think they're doing it for his benefit or for the country's benefit or both?
Well, I think they're doing it for his benefit and for those sycophants around him who are looting the treasury at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
That's what it is. You keep everyone blind, and those people that are supposed to protect us from it, the DOJ, FBI, are run by incompetent sycophants. Pam Bondi thinks that she's doing shit. Pam Bondi is going to end up in jail. She don't understand it.
She doesn't understand it, but she's going to be. She's going to be in trouble.
You know who's going to turn state's evidence on her? Kash Patel.
Oh, hell yeah.
Kash Patel will sell her out in a minute.
He's a weak motherfucker. He's a weak motherfucker. You can see it in him. He's quiet all the time. I mean, that's the other thing we have to talk about is that with all the stuff going on with Epstein, like you said, for 24, 36 hours, nothing from Donald Trump on social media regarding the Epstein files. J.D. Vance said nothing. Now, there's two issues here. J.D. Vance, somebody likened it to Gerald Ford just before Nixon resigned. They said, just stay out of it, shut up, stay out of it, so that when you become president, you can get a clean slate. And that may be what they're doing with J.D. Vance. But I thought that Donald Trump not referencing the Epstein messages, emails, for 36 hours after the fact was very telling. Think
Right.
of one time when anybody said anything to Donald Trump or about Donald Trump when he didn't have a response. We've never seen that before. So
Nope.
that tells me he's terrified and he's feeling cornered and he doesn't know what the fuck to do because even his genius mind can't come up with a way to spin this shit.
And that's part of it is that he was sitting down with people to strategize, to
Yeah.
see how do I handle this. So they
But
went to
but
the Trident, but
but wait a minute. This is the funny part. You're right. He had to sit down with the best and brightest. He had to strategize. So what's he do? He calls Kash Patel and Pam Bondi into the fucking situation room. Dumb shit, dumb fucking dumb ass all together trying to
yeah,
come up with a strategy of a PR catastrophe.
and it's not working. It's
No,
even worse. And what's the
not
strategy?
surprising.
Okay, we'll just turn it and make it about the Democrats. We'll invest the Democrats about it. No, dude, you can't call something a hoax. That's not going to work. And now it's starting to steam. It keeps going and going and going because the more he fights it and the more his sycophants fight it, it gets worse. And people are starting to see through this. It's and we don't know what's going to happen. Now, as for JD Vance, he's knee deep in shit as it is.
Yeah.
Maybe he's stepping back. But if anyone's wondering if Donald Trump's going to resign, no. The only way Donald Trump's leaving that office is in a box on a stretcher.
Let me push back on that once. And I would have agreed with you before, but here's what I know about narcissists. Narcissists will get to the point where they're cornered and there's nothing they can do and they will flail and they will fight and it will get ugly. They will take themselves down and everybody else with them. That's what they will do. But the last act of a narcissist, when there's no other options, is to run like the cowards they are. So if it gets bad enough, I could see Donald Trump being convinced to resign. And it could be as far as what the Republicans did to Nixon during Watergate, because there's coming a point right now where Donald Trump is by far no longer an asset. He is a huge liability. And as more and more Republicans pull away from him, it could get to that point to saying, look, you're going to get impeached and we're going to vote for you to get your ass out of here. We're going to save you some embarrassment. You can resign. And I think under those circumstances, he might be convinced because at the heart, he's a fucking coward.
Yeah. I mean, they may tell him, hey, look, we still have power in the Congress. If you resign, we won't investigate you. Republicans won't investigate you. Now, of course, Democrats are going to lie and wait to get him, and the next set of Democrats are not going to be the set of Democrats to let him off the hook this time. The last time it ain't happening. That's a possibility. Although I just find it hard for him to step away from that money because there's so much money that they're grifting off America right now.
But there may come a point when the Republicans have no choice.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was an actual picture of Donald Trump and Bill Clinton and we saw it, the fuck are you going to do?
There's not much you can do.
Other evidence that comes out of these emails or whatever comes next. This is what I've always said. People said, we got to get the files. We got to get the files. And I've always said the files probably won't come out until after Donald Trump is out of office. But don't worry about it. We'll keep getting dribs and drabs and leaks and all this other stuff. And people will get so pissed in the DOJ. They'll get so pressured. A video, a picture, something will come out. And we're seeing that now with the email files from the estate. There's probably more with the estate that can come out. So we may not need the files for Donald Trump. Donald Trump may already be cooked.
Yeah. And so what's the end game? Don't know. He's got to quit or nature takes its course. Yeah. Republicans as Republicans start seeing their power chipped, that's going to be a problem because he's been a dependent one. He's the one that they could depend on. And when he says, I'll primary you, ain't going to work. Because let me
You
make
know,
this clear again, going back to we're talking about Democrats caving in. Some people are not going to vote for Democrats. Okay, there were rumors here in Georgia that John Ossoff was part of the negotiations to bring the House to cave. He voted no in the end. Even
right.
if he had voted yes, I would still vote for him because he's better than any MAGA Republican they were going to put here in Georgia.
Well, certainly, certainly.
I mean, would I be disappointed? Yes. Would I be pissed? Yes. Would I primary him? No, because he's still got a bigger base and more money.
Right.
And I would still vote for him, although I'd still be pissed. Because what are you going to vote for? I keep asking these people in comments. I never ask, who are you going to vote for? A Republican?
Well, yeah, I've often talked to people. Well, I don't like the Democrats because of this or that or the other thing, and I'll say, so what's your alternative? You're going to vote for a guy who's been adjudicated as a rapist, that's been convicted 34 times, that's tried to upend our country and upend democracy? Is that your play? You're going to go that way instead? Sometimes you have to vote for the lesser of two evils, only,
Right.
even if it's only in your fucking mind.
Right. And again, you better make sure your primary candidate can win the big election. Again, in Maine, Graham Planter, they already done the stats. He'll beat Susan Collins easily.
Yeah,
Janet Mills will lose easily because
yeah.
people. I don't want to hear his shit. Okay, whatever. Right now he's talking a good game. Well, he'll be like John Fetterman. If he becomes like John Fetterman, he becomes a one-term senator.
Right.
But it's better than Susan Collins. See, the thing about the logic for these people for why not to vote for him and vote for an established candidate that's already lost that election twice is ignorant because you have to weigh what's going on right now. This is a different world. The problem we have Democrats, they still think it's the same world. It's not.
Right.
And you got to get rid of people, but you got to make sure that those you're going to elect will fight you for the bitter end, fight for you for the bitter end. Because
Well,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
well, no, I think Plantner would probably win for the same reason Mondami would win. It's not even as much as them as candidates as people are tired of the establishment and they're trying
Right.
to make a point. We saw that in the elections. We saw that with Mondani. People are tired of the status quo. And to be perfectly honest with you, this is a red flag that should have been recognized and
Right.
acknowledged in 2016. Why did people vote for Donald Trump? Because they hated the establishment so much.
Right.
They would take a flyer on somebody like Donald Trump. I mean, how bad could it get? Well, they fucked
Well,
up. They fucked up twice. But people are so tired of the way government is being run now by Republicans and by many Democrats, too. They're tired of it. So this would be a signal to say, hey, let's try something different. Let's try to do it
and
the right way this time.
and don't in the Senate or the corporate Democrats tied to the old establishment, tied to the donor class, are still trying to play the same game. You want an example? Okay, we talk about Zoran Mandami, but a lot of stuff he wants to do is dependent on what the state can do for him, i.e.,
Right.
raise taxes. Kathy Hochul has already come out against it. She wants to fight him every inch of the way because she is beholden to corporate and to
Right.
donor class. Okay. And she wants to fight him thinking that's the best way. No, dear, because there's a lieutenant governor there named Robledo who was speaking like Soran Mondami. You might think you have the upper hand right now, but if you screw him in New York, you're going to find that pain back to you later on the primary because no, Elise Stefanik is not winning that governorship in New York.
No.
And no way. Okay.
And Kathy Hochul is up for reelection in 26.
Right.
So she's got a year.
Right. But if she starts specifically messing with New York City instead of defending or giving him a chance to do what he wants, she's already talking about, I'm not sure we can do bus to make the MTA free. She's already playing these little corporate games because donation money are coming out from
Right.
corporates. Okay. She's already trying to, she thinks this is going to help her. Okay. No, it's not. It's going to blow up in your face. She doesn't, I see it because the lieutenant governor in that state talks like Mondami, and she could lose that primary. She doesn't get it. She could really be in a fight for her life.
Let's be honest. If she's running for the governorship of New York and she pisses off the entirety of the New York City, she's fucking losing.
Yeah. And
The
in New
New
York,
York City resoundingly wanted Mondami. So if you piss off Mondami and you piss off the people of New York City, you're not going to be governor.
no. And 1 million votes for the man.
Yeah.
1 million votes
In
in
a
New York City
mayor's race,
in a mayor's race.
off
Okay,
year.
off year. So that tells you, and the guy is, and the stupid has already started. The Veterans Day, which was just ridiculous. They had the Veterans Day parade. Eric Adams showed up. Well, he's mayor of New York still, so he should.
Yeah.
De Blasio showed up, old mayor. Where's Zoran Mondami, the mayor-elect? Oh, I don't know. He's a veterans home serving meals to vets, talking to them about their issues, sitting down with them face to face. And the reporter outside of it asked him, why weren't you at the parade? Are you going to go parades? I heard that question. I just wanted him to say, that is the most fucking stupidest question I heard in my life.
Yeah.
I'm here with vets on Veterans Day to ask them their needs. And he said that, but without the first part. And people want, do you want someone who wants to govern, or do you want a performance? Because a parade is a performance. Okay. Yeah. A man about to become mayor of New York, sitting down with vets and asking them, hey, what I can do for you to make the city to help you that you live in. You tell me that's less important than standing in a parade on Fifth Avenue? You know, it's not, that shit doesn't work. You can't sell that shit anymore. That's the thing. Right now, it's going to get worse because you said we got a narcissist about the end of his rope. And unfortunately, he's going to flop around and cause a lot of damage. They ain't done.
Cause a lot of them. You know, we were talking about the Epstein email messages and just the heinous crimes that have been committed and the people who have been harmed. There's another name that cropped up who's kind of fits in that same mold, and I'm talking about Matt Gaetz.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Remember, Matt Gaetz was going through the ringer as far as his sex trafficking issues, and he obviously had many. So many that he was run out of Congress. And then when he left Congress, the DOJ said they didn't have enough on him to prosecute him. Now, keep in mind, that's Biden. That's Merrick Garland's DOJ, not Trump's DOJ. They let him go. And now the story comes out of a 17-year-old girl that he sexually assaulted and abused. This 17-year-old girl was destitute. She was homeless. She was trying to make money to survive. She didn't feel like her teeth were right, so she was trying to get enough money for braces. And this is who Matt Gaetz preyed upon. You know, that's what these are, predators, people like Donald Trump, people like Jeff Epstein, people like Matt Gaetz. These fucking people prey on the vulnerable folks, vulnerable kids in this case. Mm-hmm. That's what Matt Gaetz did. And Matt Gaetz should be held accountable for it, in spite of the fact that our DOJ with Merrick Garland in charge says, yeah, there's not enough there. Merrick Garland didn't like the idea of prosecuting a former Congress member, and he was just being a pussy about it like he did with Donald Trump and everything else. We need somebody who's going to be the Attorney General that has some balls. And I've said this before, if you're a Democrat right now and you want to win an election or hold a position, you better be a fighting motherfucker.
Yes.
Because if you aren't, the people of this country aren't going to tolerate it. They're tired of getting their ass kicked. They need somebody who's going to fight back. We need somebody in leadership in the Senate, you know, somebody like Sheldon Whitehouse or somebody along those lines. Hakeem Jeffries needs to go. Jamie Raskin would be a better choice, and we need an attorney general that's going to kick some ass as well as a president. But if you people, establishment people just want to go along to get along, and we want to keep everybody happy, you aren't going to win anymore. People are tired of that shit.
Yeah, because it doesn't work.
No.
We've been doing this for 10 years. It doesn't work. And just for the brief moments with Biden, who was trying to fix everything, But the problem was you didn't have enough oomph to get rid of Donald Trump. You didn't have enough oomph to really hit him where you had something similar in Brazil. That guy in Brazil
Yeah.
who created the same type of thing, J6. That government arrested him and in less than a year convicted him. He's in jail now. They didn't fuck around with that. We did. And now
Same
we're
with the
paying the
guy.
price.
Same with the guy in South Korea. That fucker's in
Right.
jail now too. But that's the one thing I will complain about the Biden administration. When Donald Trump left office, and you saw how much havoc and chaos he wrought on this country, as president of the United States, as vice president, as the attorney general, you could have buried Donald Trump so deep we would have never heard from him again.
Yeah.
But you chose not to. So here we are.
Here we are. And I mean, there are reports that the Resolute desk is in Mar-a-Lago.
I've heard that too. I don't know if that's true, but that
There,
wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, I'm
Probably
like,
stuff with classified documents.
it's like thinking, going, nothing. You put a man in office that now thinks that everything in the White House is his.
Right.
No, it's not. That's ours. His shit in Mar-a-Lago is his. That's fine. But in the White House, it's ours. I mean, that's the thing. People don't get it. Just because you're president, you don't own the White House. You were elected to serve in and live in it. You don't own it. And now it's looking like a bad episode of Pimp Out My Ride. It's ridiculous. And it's insulting to Americans because he is taking that as his. I mean, honestly, he's admitting, and I just knocked down the east part of the White House because I could.
Well, that's the
Get
thing.
the ball on, baby.
The White House has been a very historical place. The country's house. It's been sacred in many respects, and he's taken it all away. It's no longer a sacred spot. It's no longer the historical state that it always has been. He's taken a beautiful place and turned it into a fucking trailer park. That's pretty much what he's done.
Yeah, and people, when people get upset, when we get upset about it, the other guys go, "Well, who cares? It's just the white." It's the white, but you kind of sit there and look at them, going, "You don't like that. You can't explain that to these people. They're I don't get them because they support Trump for all these things, but he's not going to invite you to his parties.
Yeah.
He's not going to give you money. You're not going to see the inside of this ballroom. He hates you. He literally hates you and has used you."
You know what my biggest concern is when this is all said and done, and reasonable minds come to look at what's left after Donald Trump and his administration leaves. I'm concerned that it's going to be like taking a playroom in a daycare, taking about 50 toddlers, stuffing them with as much sugar as you can, and send them and lock them into a room with paint and steak knives, and then 2 hours later find out what you got. I think it's going to be an absolute mess financially,
Right.
administratively. It's going to be like one of those houses where a guy gets foreclosed on and he wants to tear it down before he leaves. He wants to destroy it before he leaves. I'm afraid of what we're going to be left with and what it's going to take to try to get it back in order.
Yeah, it's going to be, and are the people going to be competent enough to do it? Are you going to be in on it?
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, because you can't be politics. It's not even going to be politics. It's going to be recovery. It's literally going to be like it's going to be like reconstruction, because he's so stripped it all down. And the other thing too is he's taken the Constitution and making it himself, make it about him.
Yeah.
The Constitution is about all of us.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the thing he's soiled the most. It literally, we would be in reconstruction mode at that point. And it's going to be a tough rebuild if we have the wrong people who want to rebuild it. Because as long as corporate money is involved in it, we're screwed. We have to get to the point that everyone's going to be on the same page, that we have to rebuild this with a social net. It's going to take a little while. We have to rethink the way we do politics. We're going to have to rethink the way we do law enforcement. We're going to have to rethink everything to a different status, because the status quo is gone. People
Yeah.
say we want to get back to where we were. No, we don't. That's how we got where we are now.
Yeah.
We have to reinvent it. And I'm not talking about AI or any of this tech bro shit. I'm talking about getting back to standard ethics and constitution and strong economics that serves everybody. Again,
Yeah.
nobody does not want, I do not want corporations or people not to make money, but they got to pay their fair share. And those people who have issues have to be allowed to get out of their issues. And that's what the government is built for. It's not built for just the rich or the privileged. That's the message we're getting right now. Government
Yeah.
only serves those that could help the government. No, it doesn't work like that. And if they're saying they're going to have SNAP come back, what it's going to do when the first paychecks come out for federal workers? What happens when their back pay's not on it?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
if you think that I'm fear mongering or doomsaying, no, they have not really promised that's going to be happening.
Well, they've already
I haven't
said
heard it.
that back pay is going to come out at different times for different people, so it's going to be longer. Why?
Why?
You would have had to put out. Yeah. Why? A good point. Is it just Donald Trump trying to fuck with people?
Yes.
Probably.
Or they don't have the money. They spent the
There's that
money.
too.
I mean, that's the thing. They spent. It's unfathomable that when we're off this mortal coil, our ancestors, our is it ancestors? Not ancestors.
Yeah.
Descendants are going to be the ones to find out the truth where their money went in the treasury,
Yeah.
because they looted this thing during this shutdown. It's got to be, because the contingency fund, this stuff, and you're hemming and hawing about back pay. There is no money, or they're hiding money, or they just want to, again, fuck with federal employees, thinking, okay, great, you don't like it, quit. That's
Yeah.
probably another thing that Rush Vought would do. Yeah, well, we never want to really pay you. You'll have to wait. If you don't want to wait, quit. And they think they're doing something. They're
Yeah.
getting
They
rid of
do.
federal employees. They're not. And again, another reason why they don't want to see the jobs reports, layoffs, and those who have left their jobs. We're, for all the good that Epstein, that's not good. For all the shift in narrative with Epstein, underneath is still a lot of bullshit we're going to have to deal with. And when it comes, it literally is simmering under like a river of lava. And when it
Yeah.
pops up, it's not going to be a slow rise. It's going to catch everyone off guard. And that government is not ready for a disaster.
Yeah.
They will not ready for a disaster. Congress is not
Now
ready for a disaster.
we're coming to the end here, and I just want to ask you one last thing.
Mm-hmm.
What we're seeing with Donald Trump and the Republicans and all that's going on, is this the beginning of the unraveling? Do you think?
The beginning of the end, yes. But the
Yeah.
beginning of the end is going to take a while, because we still have a grapple to get it back. And also, just a reminder, another thing that's going to come up in the 26 elections, that little tidbit they put in for getting rid of THC. Oh, yeah. People aren't happy about that. And people are saying why they're doing that. Because the alcohol industry is taking a dump. And you know who was behind that little tidbit in the Senate? Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell, because the whiskey people are losing money. No, they're not losing money because kids are using gummies as opposed to alcohol for a high, and the gummies are safer because they don't kill your fucking liver. It's because Canada's not buying their whiskey, you dumbass.
Right.
That's why he killed the whiskey industry.
Does it really
Dummies.
matter though? Because marijuana isn't legal federally speaking in this country. It's legal in certain states, and the feds just don't bother with it. So I don't know how that really makes a difference.
Because
Marijuana
they
is
did
already illegal.
it's not talking about the plant itself. It's the THC, which is the subject, is the substance that gets us all high. Is
Yeah.
that they had taken that and put it into edibles. Okay. And what the federal law, there's really not a federal law what you can do with the edibles. They put in a federal law that any edible above a certain amount makes it a marijuana number one narcotic against the law. So basically,
Wow.
they made those illegal. Something that people have been using for the last, I don't know, 5 years. That that's a billions of dollars of industry.
Yeah.
And it's two things. One, because they still have this idea of reefer madness, where it leads to other drugs. No, it doesn't. And two is because people aren't buying booze. No, we're not buying booze. We're not. You know, because there's so many health issues with booze.
Yeah.
And that's
Well,
the
yeah.
thing. People, and they don't want to deal with that. And it's expensive. To be honest, if you want to get high, you can get a baggie of gummies online
Yeah.
and get it home. And just remember, they're not gummy bears, and you're okay. The
Right.
point being, we're talking about all the end game. They are literally setting their own traps to explode on them. And come 26, that's the second chapter of the end game. Because if we take back the house, we should take back the house, and then the next set of what's going to happen. No, well, legislation move. No, but then they're going to start exposing all the roaches,
Yeah.
pulling up the floorboards, finding where the money is. And now you got to answer to that, even if it's not Trump in office because he's not here with us. They'll have to answer for it, and it'll get ugly.
It's going to get
And that's
very
where it's
ugly
really
before it gets better, but at least hopefully we will be headed in the right direction.
yeah.
I'm going to wrap up the Rational Boomer podcast. Will, thanks for coming in. I knew this would be an
Appreciate it.
entertaining conversation, and it certainly was. Thank you. Tell them where they can find you online.
Yeah.
They should be
Again,
looking for you.
yeah, you can get me at Binder 38 US on YouTube and Substack. Still at and to some of the people in the comments from last time, yeah, I put my email on my YouTube page. You can find it at KUMQUAT, the number 6 at outlook.com. So you can reach out to me if you have questions or anything. Again, I have a subscription of Substack. If you want to support what I do, that's great. I don't mind it. If you want to do a one-time donation, that's be great. Just email me for a PayPal link. I'll do that for you. But and I did see where you can find me on TikTok. But yeah, guys, we're going to keep doing this until one day sanity returns, or we can start talking about, hey, how's the fishing in Minnesota?
Yeah,
Someday
exactly.
we may get there.
Someday
Um,
we'll always have some issues with politics, but hopefully it won't be so crazy every fucking day.
exactly. All right, but again, guys, remember there are more of us than they are of them.
Yeah,
That never is
absolutely.
going to change.
For those of you
Thanks, Mike.
listening, thanks for doing that. I hope you have a great day. We will talk to you again tomorrow.